Hello and welcome back. My name is Ellie and I'm an urban cut flower grower here in Taupo, New Zealand, which is gardening zone 9B. Over the last week, I have been setting up a new cut flower bed behind me. We are in the middle of winter here in New Zealand, so it definitely doesn't look like much now, but I thought it might be useful to show you guys how I set up a new garden bed. When I'm setting up a new garden bed, I start with killing off any grass underneath first, if the bed was placed on grass. This one behind me is actually in an existing garden bed, so it didn't have any turf underneath it or very many weeds underneath it either, so I skipped the cardboard stage, but it wouldn't have done it any harm if I had had the time to do that. I probably would have. After that, I am going to fill it with soil. I'm going to water it down a little bit, choose my seedlings, which have been hard enough, plant those in, and then most importantly, I am going to protect it from the birds. I have just lost a whole campanula crop and I can see the chickens digging up my stock right now. I'll be back. Girls, get out of there. Honestly, off it. Go on. As I was saying, I'm going to have to protect from the birds with netting. So it's not only the chickens, but also the sparrows and the blackbirds have just been going crazy on the garden this time of year. So I am going to net all my new beds because I've just lost too many seedlings already. I brought in dirt from my local landscape supply place, which already has sheep pellets actually mixed into it. It's a really good quality garden mix. But I added some more sheep pellets to the bottom of the bed, along with some blood and bone in there as well, just to give the soil a boost and the plants a boost when they are growing through that spring period. This bed that I have here is 1.1 meters wide by 2.3 meters long. So it's a decent sized little garden bed for my urban backyard. I've got the last little wheelbarrow of dirt to go in, and then I'm just going to compress it down a little bit, not stomping all over it too hard, but just so it's not too loose to plant in.
What's this gonna be?
Another flower bed.
Can you put roses in it?
Roses? Do you like roses?
Yeah.
There's a few roses that I've seen that I would really like. They're just expensive. I am just going to give the bed a water down as well, because you'll find that it will sink down a little bit with a watering as well. So I will just do that. Chickens, this is new and exciting, I know. So I just have some bamboo here and I'm going to figure out, I was thinking of just doing 2 kind of teepees either side, but now I'm thinking it actually might make sense space-wise to just take them straight across. This is all the canes I've got though, so I might have to spread them out a little bit further. Because I don't really want to buy any more. And then I will just run twine along these. This is also a really great full sun spot, and the sun comes over this way. So that's why I'm going to put my sweet peas at the back and not at the front, because if I put them at the front, when the sun comes over, it would shade then everything behind it. So by putting them at the back, the flowers in the front are going to get full sun up all day, and then when it gets to really hot afternoon heat, they're going to have a little bit of shade as well, which they'll probably thank me for. So that's the reason why I'm going to do my sweet peas at the back and then other flowers in front. Because this bed's so big as well, I want to think about how I'm going to harvest my flowers. So I think I'm going to leave a little gap in the middle. I'll be able to get in all the flowers at the front from just reaching like this, but for anything at the back, I'm going to have to leave a gap here so I can cut either side at the back here. So those are just some of the things I am thinking about when I am planning what to plant in here. So I have the seedlings out here. They have been hardening off in and out of the greenhouse for the last wee while, actually for probably too long, because I haven't had anywhere to put them. So yeah, these are a lot smaller than they would have been if they'd been in ground already. But hopefully they will take off once I get them planted. So I'm going to start popping those in now. So these ones I have here, I've lost the label for. Again, please do as I say, not as I do. But I think that these are Potomac snapdragons, if I remember correctly. And I'm just going to go. Might have to trim this grass back eventually. But right now it might hide these from the chickens while I'm planting them out. So with my snaps, I always do the spacing way too close. But I plant everything closely. So these will either, oh, I can see a label there actually that says Potomac apple blossom. So it's possible that that's what these snapdragons are, which are pretty. I wish actually that I'd tried the plum blossom now over the apple blossom, but I think these will still be cool. So I'm just separating them because they're all kind of bound together a little bit by the roots. So I'm just as gently as I can teasing them apart. And I will give these a water with seaweed too, just because they've gone through a little bit of trauma during this process, and the seaweed solution will help them settle in. I've also got a few Craspedia plants in this same tray, which are beautiful little yellow ball flowers. And I really like them in bouquets, so I am going to stick those in as well. I've gone for a lot of snaps this year, and I figured out last season that they really don't ship very nicely from the wholesaler. So this is one of those flowers that I know local florists are going to prefer to buy from me than they are going to, yes, you're very noisy, then they will, they'll prefer to buy from me over the wholesaler for these ones just because of how they ship. And I've always found the locally grown ones just have a little bit more character. They might have a little tiny twist in the stem, and I think otherwise snapdragons, when they're so straight and linear, I don't know. You know, I like a funky flower. So if they've got a little wonk in the stem or something, and the florist here in town very much likes flowers like that too. So yeah, I think snapdragons are definitely one of those flowers that are better locally grown. I don't even want to walk away from this bed now because the chickens are lurking so closely. And you can see there's some seedlings that I just like, look, I'm not even going to bother trying to put that in because I just know it's a weak plant. Same as this one here. I can see that one attached there. It might do all right. The top's just been pinched off and it is shooting again. Looks healthier than the other one. So I'll just keep those as a 2 when I put those in. And if that weaker one dies, then it dies. Now I have 2 random sweet red dianthus here. So you betcha they're going in. This sweet red dianthus is a new one for me this year. And it's mainly because I watched the Wuthering Heights movie, the new one with Jacob Elordi and Margot Robbie. And I really want to do a Wuthering Heights themed bouquet, just for my own, I don't know, fun, I guess. So that's the reason I wanted those sweet red dianthus. I don't know if they're going to be quite dark enough for the vision I have in mind, but we'll see. So that probably wasn't a smart space decision. Christina, you are not coming to pluck all these seedlings out, no. And these Craspedia, they're perennial. Here, I'm going to shoo you. Shoo, go on. I wish you were more scared of me, chicken. Because you're so brave. Yes, these Craspedia are perennial here, which is always good. I love a flower that's going to reduce the workload. And this one's a little bit small, so I'm just going to put you down the front. And if you live, you live. And if you don't, you don't. And I will mulch around all of these as well. I have a little mulch pile, which I also got from the landscape supplier. Just going to pull some of these weeds in, and then I don't want to waste this potting mix, so I'm just going to tip that in the bed as well. And I'm going to actually put that random apple blossom label in that I found in case it is true. And that Dianthus Sweet Red I know is right because it's the only variety I sowed of that one. So that's one tray in. These snaps here, I've got Avignon Apricot down here, which is one of my favourite, Potomac Ivory and Potomac Lavender. So I'm running out of room already. I might go for these on the other side. So this is my little middle pathway. Going with some of these. This Avignon is my favourite. So I'm going to put that in. And these are really, really tiny to plant out. I normally would wait for them to grow a little bit bigger. These are really tiny. They've just got one set of true leaves here. But I know I have another crop of these Avignon Apricot in a different bed, and there's only like 5 or 6 seedlings here, so I'm just going to pop them in. So over there we have Snapdragons and Craspedia in so far, and a couple of the Dianthus Sweet Red. Just going to water these in while I'm working on the others. I just found some straw flower as well. This is the white and the silvery rose, which are some of my favourite varieties. And I think I'm running quite low on white flowers. So I'm definitely going to put a few of these straw flowers in. They're incredibly root bound in this tray. But straw flowers, I've found they're pretty tough. So I'm going to break a few off. Got a nice big clump there that I'll pop in. I'm worried about the chickens coming and swooping in if I leave. So you can see this is what we look like now. I've got the snapdragons at the front. I just popped some of those straw flower plants in the back. And then those tiny few snapdragon seedlings that I transplanted. I stopped and didn't put the rest of this tray in because I actually think that I have so many snapdragons in other patches around the garden that it's smart for me to save this patch here for maybe more late spring summer crops, so zinnia and a couple of dahlias. So I'm just trying to think about that balance between the seasons as well, and I probably have so many spring flowers that it is smart to save the rest of this bed for later blooming flowers. My sweet peas aren't quite big enough, but when they are, I will put a couple along the back there and add my twine. And I have kept this netted because you see, as soon as I remove the netting, my little girl's in. Hello, darling. Just going to pop this net over them. I'll probably just go and get some bird netting tomorrow. But I can see that these chickens are on a mission right now to dig up our flowers. Hello. How do I work this? Got it inside out. Oh, yeah. Oh, you're speedy.
I'm so speedy, I won't. Because they do not move.
Now what I don't want to do is stab this directly onto the flowers. So I'll have to go and get bird netting tomorrow to keep the chickens out. But I'm hoping that will do for a day. I hope you found this video useful. I know it doesn't look like much now, but please do come back in spring and summer to see what this is going to look like in bloom. It's going to be a great addition to boost my stock. As I said, most of the seedlings I planted in there were just excess stock that I had left over. So it's great to find a spot for those. But thank you so much for watching. I would really appreciate it if you did subscribe to my channel. It really does help me and it costs you nothing. And also thank you very much to the person who sent me super thanks on one of my videos a couple of weeks ago. Yeah, I really appreciate it. See you next time.